Honestly, I don't understand why you guys are asking me what hair porosity is. Do I have the answer written on my face? Do you know? Do you know? I don't know what it is. Because I went and go and put votes on Instagram. Vote what my next video is. Then you people go and put hair porosity. Who told you to go and vote? Cut. Hello everybody. How are you? As some of y'all know, I am a hairstylist located in Philly. If you haven't, please like, subscribe to my new YouTube channel, and follow me on my Instagram pages, Styles by Print and Print. Today we're going to talk about hair porosity. Pay attention, because if you don't know what it is, you're wasting your time. Cut. Think of hair porosity as your hair's ability to take in moisture and retain moisture, oils, and any other products that you put in your hair, including dyeing your hair. Your hair's ability to take in that color and retain that color. Why do we need to know what hair porosity is? Why? We need to know our hair porosity in order to understand better ways to manage our hair. It allows you to understand what kind of products to look out for and what ingredients to look out for. If you're the type of person that likes to make their own products, knowing your hair porosity allows you to know how to formulate your own hair products. We have 3 different types of porosity levels: low, medium, and high porosity. Some of y'all already know there is the float test, the strand test, and there's another type of test. I don't even remember what it's called, but it's another test. For example, the float test. People would put a strand of their hair into a glass of water. If it sunk, it was high porosity. Floated, it was normal or medium porosity. If it stayed at the top, it's low porosity. But the issue with this test, is our hair has natural sebum. And if we have those natural oils in our hair and you happen to put that in a glass of water, it'll float and you're going to think that you have low porosity. That can be very misleading. Another way that this test is just wrong is when you have cold water and you dump a few strands of your hair into that water. Cold water actually seals in our cuticles, causing it to either float or hang in the middle of the water. And now you're like, okay, I have low porosity or I have normal porosity. You can't do the strand test, especially when you have products in your hair and then you take a few strands out and you're like dumping it into water. The chances are your hair is gonna end up floating. Because of these factors, we can't go off that judgment of the float test, like, at all. Cancel it, period. High porosity lets in way too much moisture, and this is simply because the cuticles are always open. This kind of hair dries fast, gets tangled easily, gets frizzy, and it's so annoying. Like, no matter how much moisture you try to put in, it just sucks it in and lets it go. Like, it's so hard to maintain, but I'm about to help you out real quick. Cool water is simply your go-to when you have high porosity hair. When you wash and when you condition your hair, you are using cool water because it seals in your cuticles. And also, deep conditioning your hair as often as needed is something that high porosity hair loves the most. Remember what I said about high porosity hair being dry and damaged? When you deep condition your hair as often as possible, it helps repair those damaged ends that high porosity hair tends to have. Because the cuticles of high porosity hair are open, you want to focus on getting products that have a low pH of between 4 to 5. This will help with closing the cuticles. Stay away from using heat as much as you can. Heat is the #1 thing that will damage your hair if you are high porosity. So let me tell you what happens when you put heat in your hair. It's just gonna keep opening up your cuticles, and you already know they're open, so it's just gonna like open them up the more, which is just gonna further damage your hair. I don't know if that makes sense, but you are not going to win when you blow dry your hair after you wash it. You want to focus more on air drying your hair as much as you can. If you must put heat in your hair, make sure it's something you do every once in a while, and I mean it. Apple cider vinegar is best in bringing down the pH balance of your high porosity hair. Maybe you want to look out for products containing apple cider vinegar, or Or you can have apple cider vinegar with the mother in it and put it in your shampoo or your conditioner. And if you're going to use that method, I would personally advise using about 2 to 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar per maybe 3 to 4 tablespoons of your shampoo or your shampoo. First of all, that's a lie. You actually need 1 to 2 teaspoons of your apple cider vinegar when you're mixing it with 2 to 3 tablespoons of your shampoo and conditioner. Now, I'm assuming this is how much you use. If you use a little bit less than 2 to 3 tablespoons, then reduce your apple cider vinegar accordingly. So what did I mention? Make sure you are using cold water. Deep conditioning, make sure you stay away from heat. And always have your apple cider vinegar by your side. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Your hair takes a long time to get wet or to even saturate a product. You could be in a shower trying to wash your hair. You like, damn, it's taking a minute for my hair to get wet. Like, you might even see water beads on top of your hair. You could even have an example where you're putting products in your hair and the product is just sitting on top of your hair, causing maybe buildup or dandruff in the future. And these are just little signs of having low porosity. The cuticles are shut and tightly bound together. This makes it very hard for products to penetrate into the shaft of the hair. And it also makes it very hard for this type of hair to absorb moisture or retain moisture easily. Here are some tips on how to manage your low porosity hair. Low porosity hair actually loves heat. For example, when I'm about to wash my hair, I make sure that I use warm water to wet my hair first. This allows my cuticles to open up, preparing it for the shampoo and the conditioning process. You also need to use alkaline products to open up your cuticles. So basically, you open your cuticles, moisturize your hair, you seal those cuticles with a pH of 4 to 5 to seal in the moisture. Wow. Normal hair porosity. This is probably one of the best kinds of porosity you can have. It absorbs moisture without over absorbing the moisture, and it retains moisture well. This is the type of hair that you can style it with any type of heat styling products and it will hold curls for days. It can also take and dye colors easily. But here's the catch. If you dye your hair and you have normal hair porosity, you then increase your porosity a little bit higher or even high because the chemicals just break down the cuticles and lifts it up even more. So then now you have to maintain your hair as you would when you have high porosity. Be aware of this type of things because your hair porosity level can change depending on what you're doing to your hair. If you have low porosity and you try to keep dyeing your hair and lifting the color and you eventually bleach it to get it to be a bright color, you are now increasing your hair porosity. And in the link below, or maybe in the next slide, I'm going to drop down a few different products that are great for low porosity hair, high porosity hair, and normal porosity hair. So I hope this video was very informational and helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!